In an age filled by time, wizards and witches were the guardians of ancient secrets, their powers entwined with the very fabric of nature. Yet, shadowed by fear, they were pursued in the Dark Ages and hunted down by forces misunderstanding their gifts. Most notably, the Catholic Church. Amidst this turmoil, a sanctuary stood resilient against the tides of time. Tintagel, home of Merlin and birthplace of King Arthur. Here, in these enclaves of untouched beauty and mystique, the whispers of the past and the echo of magic still linger in the air. As we embark on this journey, let us unveil the layers of history and enchantment these legendary sites safeguard. Join us as we step into a realm where the echoes of magic beckon the curious and promise adventures untold. Okay, so time to get into the car and go to Tintagel. Well, I initially planned to go a little bit earlier. I wanted to really move early, maybe leave around 7 or something, so that I could already be there around 9. But now it's actually 9 that I'm leaving. And that's because I had this weird sleeping situation this evening. Waking up in the middle of the evening. It was actually a weird situation in general, because also during the night there was a new lady that entered the Airbnb or joined, and she started at a certain point screaming and shouting for help, and she had some kind of sleep paralysis or nightmare experience. So it was quite powerful, her first night here. So it was, the whole evening was a bit weird, but yeah. So now we're in the car and we're going to Tintagel, and Tintagel is the birthplace of King Arthur, and where Glastonbury is the burial place where he got buried, where he died. Tintagel is the birthing place and also the home of Merlin, the wizard. And that's where a lot of all the different myths and stories have happened, and it's like a really magical place at the water with rock formations and caves and really amazing nature spaces, I've understood. So today's gonna be a nature day. Let's fire this baby up, get on the road, on the highway, and then we'll see each other again. Ciao. So the way that I got inspired to do this was through this Greek travel vlogger on YouTube called Timmy Carter. And Timmy is just a plain funny, extremely sociable guy who is has this amazing gift to just create a conversation and interaction with absolutely anybody that he comes across in the street. And he has this super disarming kind of attitude that people, and then he just takes his camera in and he has the most interesting interactions and goes to the most bizarre places where tourists should not go, to the favelas in Latin America, and to all kinds of, the last time it was super amazing. He went to this street racing event, but apparently in Colombia it's they allow it to happen, but he gets in the most crazy situations because he is just having a camera with him. People really want to be on camera or on YouTube or have like a little moment of fame, so they really love to be in his shot and then be recorded and just share some stuff. And with that he creates this beautiful insight, look into a culture, and does it in completely his own humoristic way, and people let him come into their houses and show how they live and share stories and things that they have gone through, and it gives you such a beautiful look into places where tourists usually would not go, and he makes it accessible through his vlogging, which I think is just a brilliant concept. And that's where I also want to, why I thought this was such what inspired me so much to do this, because just by starting to develop this habit and skill also of talking in the camera and having interactions with complete strangers, but building that skill gets you in the most amazing situations and also the most synchronicistical events. And I had that kind of experience, of course, also these past few days where because I stayed at the talk for a while to just wait and see what happens, and there was clearly something going on with people in the drumming circle and people interacting and meditating and doing stuff. So just by being there and not leaving immediately, just pushing through to kind of like wait and see what happens, this interaction happened with Maria, which led from one thing to the other, which you all know of by now. That's also where he shines so well, Timmy, in the interactions that he creates with strangers, and just creates funny moments as well with them. So I think for my traveling alone part, it would be very beneficial if I would acquire that skill or develop and train that skill of talking to strangers better. And two things. What I already noticed is when I was doing a little bit of practice vlogging, experimenting with Chiara, Nina, fiance, I actually noticed that we have this natural funny dynamic going on, which I already asked her before this thing, like we should really do something with that and try if we can use that for this channel and see if we can build something together. I think it could be a really nice thing to do and to bond through and to have like a nice feel. For the traveling, we got a really big trip coming up. We are making this preparation plan because we want to basically, she's going to take a 3-month sabbatical, and we're going to travel to Central Asia, to all kinds of forgotten countries with the most amazing nature landscapes and adventurous things to do, like expeditions and stuff, climbing mountains and valleys and all kinds of really cool stuff. So that's some cool inspiration through just talking out loud here, thinking out loud. Something really clicked in the last video that I saw of Timmy Carter about this street racing and this drifting in Medellin. That's where he went and where he had this street racing experience. Medellin apparently has a really big street race culture. So he has an audience that enables him to experience even cooler stuff and even more of what he already started with. It starts to manifest and it starts to spiral out and to really create its own gravitational field where he pulls in all these opportunities and really cool interactions. And that's just something where I feel like, whoa, yeah, if I would be able to create that kind of gravitational field around with an audience of large enough size to enable this, then that would basically, like, especially with people that are a bit more in tune with source and likely to experience synchronicities in their lives, that would just like a whole new level of showing the power of this kind of stuff. And it just gets me really excited, because that's exactly where I feel like, whoa, this is my way in. This is my niche kind of thing to get people really interested and excited in this kind of stuff, by showing how magical life can become through aligning yourself with source, following synchronicities, and just go with the flow. Let's reinvent how we engage with spirituality in our lives. That's something that I want to make life magical again for people, and how to do it for yourselves. And basically also through the content that I'm developing and the book that I'm currently writing, I really want to create this novel frame of reference to work with spirituality and to really make people believe in themselves again, and become like super self-reliant and aware of the power that they have inside themselves, and how much they can influence and control their entire experience of life by just by knowing how to do it, by knowing how to do the right things, by focusing on healing yourself and aligning yourself with the right kind of action and stuff. Okay, we'll see where it all ends up. Thanks for listening. Ciao. Pasties. Local English countryside dish. They have the bakery next door. It's I think nice and warm for the road. So we just had the amazing pasties at the Jenna pasties. And I'm all filled up with my tummy. A perfect fuel for the little walk, which we're gonna go to Tintagel's castle. Just look at it. This is actually, Nina, if you're watching, slight advantage of traveling alone, because you can do like this kind of crazy shit a bit more easily without being called back each moment. Oh, yeah! Woo! Look at that! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! Let's go on a freaking adventure. Look at the waves coming in. Get up there. Get up there. And see if we can have a bit of a better view. That's the biz. That actually teaches you a perfect lesson of taking a leap of faith sometimes. You never know what's behind the corner, and it can be such a gift, such an amazing experience as this if you just go for it. There's no way that we can go further without soaking ourselves. Look at the force of those waves. Once you're like there, it breaks. The waves are broken, but once you're past there, it kind of hits you like properly. I think it's gonna get tight right now, so I think we need to get out. Else we're gonna be trapped here for a while. Okay, let's say goodbye. Like this, the water is, the light is really gorgeous. It's not shining into the, it's reflecting the light, so it's not facing it straight up. Okay, this is gonna be tricky though, because this really seems like there's going to be a tide. Uh-oh, actually got wet. Well, glad we took that leap of faith. Stopped raining in the meantime. Let's go. Smells amazing, smells like the sea. Pretty nice, pretty cool adventure. Okay, that's it folks. We're gonna drive to St. Nectan's and I'll see you there. Okay. Just in time we got a new recommendation from the host to go to a witchcraft museum. It's a bit outside of like my general league of interest, but I'm willing to be surprised. The town is really gorgeous. Boscastle. Let's check it out. Wellington Hotel. Told you it was pretty. Museum is supposed to be up there. Adventures of Boscastle. This is really cool though. I found a second-hand bookstore. And you catch my attention. And there's a book for £6. It's on the Shakespeare and his work from 1922, second print. And it's like this beautiful, it's like a gorgeous artwork detailing the biography of Shakespeare. Which is interesting because there's all kinds of theories of the true identity of Shakespeare, and it's like blasphemy to question his identity. And there's like people like mainstream science or these kinds of literature, they really don't want anybody to really do anything with it. And I found like a really interesting video once which hypothesized that it could be that Sir Francis Bacon was Shakespeare, and that's because Shakespeare has a lot of occult symbology and traditions and knowledge worked into his literature. So this is definitely a special find. The cool shops, stuff everywhere. The other world. What was really cool about these shops, and like I also mentioned that before, it's just overhearing the people talking with each other, like how awake they are of everything that's happening. So the shop owner was like discussing his development towards a cashless society and how they were going to take control over us with central bank digital currencies, those kinds of things. Like just randomly overhearing these kinds of conversations, it's quite funny. You don't get that anywhere else. Let's go into nature first. So apparently, I thought this was an open thing, but of course it's all touristic and shit with entrance fees and shit. So, and closing times. So this one's gonna be tight, but I think we're gonna try. Not sure if it's gonna be worth the money. I need to get out immediately, but hey, if you don't try, you don't win. It says approximately 25-minute walk. I think I can do it in 15 minutes. What do you think? So let's run. Let's go! like meditation room. That's nice. Live cafe. Let's stay here after. Let's go in. I saved the money from the castle, so it's gonna be worth it. It's a meditation room where the water of the waterfall is seeping down the rocks. Gorgeous. We're back on the GoPro and we got a fucking nice sundown waiting for us. I found an illegal parking spot to get to some gorgeous cliffs that I found on Google Maps. So, but there was absolutely nobody here, so I don't see the problem, huh? Look at that. Oh, that is going to be amazing. I'm going to teleport myself all the way up there in order to save some battery. Are you ready for this? 3, 2, 1, let's go! Got recorded because the camera died of the GoPro again. But I was saying that I understand that this is where King Arthur and the boys, why they choose this as their chill spot. Because this is special, man. This is a special place. So happy that I took the car here. Look who broke free. It's the outcast. He's the guy that went outside of the matrix, outside of the reality. He's not a dangerous one, I guess. It's just a cow, it's not a bull. To make sure that we don't get into any problems like with the dogs at the gypsy camp. Oh, look at colors in the meantime. I just never want to leave. Like I already stood up like 10 times in order to leave, but every time I just stayed because it's becoming more beautiful and more beautiful. Oh man. So I made sure I enjoyed every last bit of that sundown. Man, this was really soul nourishing. Like this is like medicine for the heart. It was breathtaking. Yeah. What a day. Like all these beautiful things and all these crazy adventures. I really love it. This is like why you go into nature and stuff. Now we're just gonna drive home. We've got a big drive back. Oh. The second part of the ride home was really nice. It was really special. For some reason the ceremony came up and I started remembering a little bit like the parts of it where it involved that my mom was communicating through her, and that there were like these few things that were like clear that she was legit and that she was not making things up, like certain things that she just brought up which was not possible to know. So I realized that I didn't really have the time yet to process that, like the gravity of that situation, and where there was actually this opportunity, this ability to hear from my mother again and feel her presence so clearly, and with the gestures that Maria was making and like pushing like go, like it just became so vivid in my head, and that it was so clear that it was actually really happening. And also the moment where we did where she made it possible to hug my mom through her, that was just like, yeah, for me it was a bit difficult to really believe that's actually going on. But if it would have been the case, then that would have been such an enormous gift to my mom as well, that she was able to like experience the feeling again of like physical hugging, physical love, physical energy exchange. Like it really grabbed my realization of how big that moment actually was. That feeling of really being in the presence of my mom, I felt like she was back again, and then I had this, and I relived like the feelings and experience of that session, and I had really time to just let it all sink in, like while being on the road and really chilling. And then I realized, and then I was thinking of this thing that always made me laugh about her, and it was this song that she always put on. And then I remembered that she had created this amazing playlists with all kinds of music from different periods in her life that she that were important to her. And I just put on the playlist, and for the rest of the room road home, the drive home, it was just such a nice feeling to have all those memories of my mom and all those feelings like associated to the songs that I also know, and how I know her in combination with it, and how she would act, and like sometimes hilarious, sometimes sad, sometimes like it was really comfortable and really nice, as if I was like sitting on the way home with my mom next to me. And then that she actually was there to give me the title of the book that I'm working on and the motivation that I should really continue with it. And then it just makes for such a crazy, unbelievable story. Okay, and then the last song that here was also like exit music from Radiohead, was on the random shuffle. It was also the same song that we listened to last song before, like really on our deathbed. So I was really I'm tired.
Join the Yours to Source email course today, subscribe to my mailing list, and ensure you never miss a step on this journey of spiritual growth. Your path to aligning with Source and discovering how it wants to express itself through you begins here.